Hello and welcome back, guys. So in this video we will be working on the very hard part, which is the load this thing, yeah, which is this resume section part. So we'll in this video we'll be basically working on the um, outer section, which is this one, and I'll show you what is the HTML and how can we basically create this feature. When I click work, this component should open. So it's like we have different components for different options over here, and we'll change the icons over here. Don't worry about it. Now, first things first, let me just quickly, you know, write the HTML. So in this particular video, we'll be writing the HTML of the outer div. Okay, and write class name as resume outer section. And I'm gonna give d flex column the same thing. Like this will be the same thing for each and every div. As you can see, this looks fine in mobile view as well. That's this mobile view, it looks something like this. We have to fix the navbar, then automatically everything will get fixed. So don't worry about it. And it's I guess it should be a bit big. I don't know why it's. Anyways, um, okay. Let me just increase it to the one that I have. I don't know. Maybe one. Okay, never mind. Just will let me just keep this thing the way that it was. So that way you can basically see how it looks. So I guess in the mobile view it would look something like this thing, but don't worry about it. We'll make it responsive. Let me it now right over here, as you guys can see. Let me just write a span. Okay, and this span would have a class name of about me text, which we have created in the previous video. If you have watched the previous video, it would have the same thing, resume. So automatically the styling would be added to this thing. As you can see, this looks fine. And also, right span class name, and right over here I'm gonna write y text sub, which I have created again in the previous video, this class. Okay, I'm not gonna do that again. Y create sub, so I'm gonna write my formal bio details. Okay, that way if you guys can see, I will have this text right over here. Cool, no problem. Now after that I'm going to write class name and write resume new section, and I'm gonna make this thing as row. So basically we would be having we would be having a row. The left side would be one column and the other side would be other column. Right now after that, let me create this part, div class name as call lg4 and call md4. So basically the left section would be smaller than the right section because this section has more values, right? So that is why we need it to be big. Let me just change the styling on this. I don't know, maybe 8 as far as I know. Yeah, it should be 8. 4 plus 8, 4 plus 8 is 12, right? So there are like 12 columns in Bootstrap, if you do not know about it. All right, so now after that, so basically in order to create these things, these icons, we will be needing font awesome. This is something called font awesome, so we can grab all of the icons from there. So for that, you know, you have to log in, and you can press start for free. You just have to log in, you'll get the CDN that you are using. But I have already logged in into the website, and you know, I already got the CDN. um, Let me just go to index.html, and let me just paste it over here. Okay, I did already paste it. So as you guys can see, you can just take the one that I have. You can just pause the video and write the same thing on your application. Maybe, you know, I don't mind if you use my CDN. Doesn't really matter. All right. So now after that, let me just quickly, um, you know, write the HTML for it. So basically we're in the inside part, right? So first things first, I'm gonna make this thing as uh I'm gonna style of width 70%, the same as the above one. Okay, and we margin inline, okay, as what's wrong, margin inline as auto. All right, and that will make it center, and I can give a height, but doesn't really matter. I'm not gonna give a height. I'm not gonna give a height over here. But I'm gonna just leave it. I'm gonna give a class name for it as well. Resume left section. Okay, and I'm gonna give a class name for this one, resume right section, just to make sure that everything is clear. All right, now after this thing, so basically, not only that, I'm also going to add few more classes over here. Like I'm gonna add dflex flex row. So inside this thing, we would have basically basically this is a flex which has two rows. There's one big flex over here, which basically has two rows. This is the first row, and this is second row, and we'll make this thing a justify content start. That way it will be in the beginning. That's how it is by default, so we don't have to do that. And after that, we would also, you know, we will basically add one value over here. This way this will be one column, and the other part would be over here. You'll see how it is. I know it sounds a little bit confusing, but let me just implement it and show you so that you would understand everything very much clearly. All right, cool. Now I'm gonna create, just like I've said, I'm gonna give create a div. Okay, this div will be a flex column. Okay, and I'm gonna give bg new, which I'll create this thing, class bg new. Okay, all right, so after that, text white, I mean whatever the text is inside it would be white. And right over here I'm gonna create you know, I'm just going to basically go to Font Awesome and search for graduation. Okay, let me search graduation. I don't know, graduation would give me the correct, yeah, there you go. You can just press this thing. Okay, I don't know why it is not opening. Yeah, cool, it did open. So press start using this icon, just press this part. Okay, and you know what, I'm gonna create a span and paste this thing over here, just to wrap everything up. Okay, and before that, yeah, I guess that would be it. Yeah, that would be it on this particular, yeah, yes. Let me just quickly give a name. I'm gonna give icon span. Okay, that means the span will wrap up the icon. And how many do we need? 1 2 3 4, right? We'll need 4 values. Let me just press this thing, press shift and alt on Windows. 1 2, 3. That means I'm gonna get 4 values. So I should be able to see that. I don't know why I'm not able to see it. Okay, never mind. We'll come to the part where why is it not visible. I guess it's not visible because the text is white. If I change it to text normal as dark, then I should be able to see it. Yeah, cool. There you go. Okay, so let me just make it white for now. Later on, we'll come back to this. So similarly, just choose the ones that you find it, you know, relevant. Like for work, just search work over here. Okay. Okay, I don't know, work briefcase looks fine to me. Press start using this icon and copy and just paste it over here. Okay, so the next one would be programming. So we would search for code. I don't know if we can find everything for, yeah, this thing is perhaps, yeah, this looks fine. So you can choose anything, it's up to you. I don't know why it doesn't work at times. I'm gonna reload the page. Okay, it's loading for some reason, I don't know why. So press right click and open a new tab. Okay, this is opening. I don't know what is the reason behind it not, I don't know why. So let me just copy and paste it over here. Okay, and after that, projects. Right, project. Projects, maybe this looks fine. No, we just have to double click it. That is how it works. Okay. Paste. So I guess the values are over there. Let me make it dark. For now, let me just make it dark. Afterwards, while I'm making the styling and all, I'll make it this thing. All right. So now we are having a deflex flex column. So this was the first div that we have created. So yeah, it basically has in column space like one after the other, right? So now if you guys can see this thing, this is the flex row, right? So we are having a row. So the first row would contain these values, and the second row would contain the names of the values. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing with us like I did above. Deflex, display flex, and flex direction is column. So if those of you all do not know Bootstrap, this is display flex direction is column. Okay, now after that, I'm gonna give a span to it, and I'm gonna give a class name of, I don't know, let's give it something like resume options items. Okay, cool. Now I'm gonna write education over here. Write 1 2 3 because 4 items are there in total, and write work over here, and write programming over here, and write projects. Now I should be able to, okay, so as you guys can see, this thing works in this way. All right, cool. Now after this thing, let me just quickly, yeah, this part is done. And for the, okay, this part is basically done, and in order for us to create these states and all, so basically we need use states to handle all of that. But for now, let me just create the components that we are having one by one. Okay, so very first things first, I'm going to create a component called education. Okay, so okay, not over there, inside src education.js. okay, and rafc, it doesn't work, right? So I'm going to import react from, it should be capital R, yeah, and then I'm going to create, right, export default education. I'm going to do this thing quickly because inside VS Code there is a option where you can automatically write this code. All right, so now I'm just going to copy this part. Okay, we also need to write function over here. Let me copy this part because we will be needing for other components. This is the first component, and the second component would be work.js. Change this thing to work. Okay, cool. Now the third component would be programming. Okay, let me just write programming.js. Yeah, right, paste, change this thing to programming. Okay, and the fourth component would be projects.js. Okay, just paste this thing and write projects. Fair enough. Cool, everything looks fine. Now it's all about creating the states. So I'm gonna write, yeah, the very first state that I'm gonna give is education, set education. Okay, this would be true. That means the very first page that the user would see is this page, and I'm gonna write work history, set work history. State false. Okay, and after that I'm gonna write programming, set programmings use state false. Write the second part, write projects, set projects use state false. We have four, basically we are basically having four these things, and it would show an error because use state is not imported. Okay, I guess now use state is imported, so we won't have an error. All right, and now here comes the complex part, or I would say, kind of easy part, but let us just see. Okay, so I'm gonna write education. Okay, if education is equals to true, I'm gonna conditional render the education component. Okay, so whenever this is true, then you guys can basically this thing will be shown. So similarly, I'm gonna create the states for other values also. Work history is equals to true, then I'm gonna write work, okay, work component. Okay, and right over here I'm gonna write programming is equals to true, and programming. Okay, and I'm gonna write projects is equals to true, and projects. All right, that is how we basically have to create the states. Now I'm just going to write random text over here, education, okay, work, okay, programming, projects, okay, So yeah, so as you can see, this thing is coming down. I don't know why. Let me just check the HTML. There is something that I am missing. I don't know, let me just check. Basically it should come over there beside this part. So I guess, I don't know, for some reason I guess this is okay, let me just check. Okay, this, okay, I have written row over here, that's fine. And okay, it doesn't really matter, to be honest. Let me reload and, you know, try to debug this part. Okay, okay, so I guess let me show you what is the error that we did. I guess we kind of, you know, added all of these things together. Okay, okay, this is the part where I have added this thing. Okay, okay, let me, yeah, so guys, the mistake, I don't know, the mistake that I have done was something like this. So I needed to add this width height 70% to this resume section, not one column. So that is why we were seeing all of those component education on the bottom and these guys on the, yeah, over here. So after that, I'm also gonna add a few classes to it, something like, I'm gonna add, yeah, I'm gonna leave it in this way. Perhaps I could add, px0, and I'm gonna add a shadow lg, so that this component is like, having this part. So now after this thing, we would now create the states that would handle, so the states are already created. Now we would create the onClick method that we will do in the next video. So see you all guys over there.